Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the Sports Show live on the stations of Wallingford Broadcasting. We are live on 103.5 WKXO, V99.3 WIRV, and also on 92.5 WEKY. Michael Watkins here with you. Glad to have you along. If you are listening to us on the radio, head on over to WBON TV's Facebook page, the live stream over there. And leave us a comment, share your thoughts with us as we discuss all kinds of local sports topics like Madison Central, Southern, Berea, and Estill County getting their high school football seasons ready to begin. We'll have a preview of some potential games that we'll be streaming live on the WBON outlets. And plus, today we're going to be previewing the Berea Pirates football team, who have a new head coach and the new quarterback that'll be stepping into the backfield for the Pirates. And Madison Southern, the Eagles, have some new players that'll be stepping up for them as well after losing a lot of really important seniors from last year's team that advanced to the third round of the Gridiron Bowl playoffs. So all that and more like EKU coverage today on the Sports Show. And again, we appreciate you being with us. Our producers today on the radio side, Jaden Johnson and Gage Hill on the TV side. And we want to thanks to Jim Greenlee for helping us get everything situated and live on the air today. First, we're going to take a look at the Berea Pirates football team. They looked a lot different last year. After winning their final game of the 2018 season, the team ended a 43-game losing streak, and that final game is they defeated Jellicoe, Tennessee.
All right, Coach, we got good news. We can officially
won their first 6 games, and the folks over in Berea were ecstatic. They were celebrating the wins and having all kinds of fun. We went over there and started covering the football team, giving them some love, and appreciated them letting us come over there and be a part of that magical 6-game stretch as they began the season again 6-0 and eventually compiled a 7-4 record last year, which was their first winning record since 2009, despite what other local media outlets are reporting. And in 2009, Keenan McCorder coached the team to a 6-win, 5-loss record. As 2020 has shown us, things can certainly change in a hurry, especially over in Berea, where we've seen head coaches dropping like hotcakes. Aaron Stepp has stepped down as the head coach, and Tony DeGregorio was named interim coach after Stepp had stepped down. Gregorio has been on the staff for the past 5 seasons, and multiple players had told me he was a big reason for the team's success over the last year and a half. Gregorio has had success as a player. He played for legendary EKU coach Roy Kidd in the mid-90s, and he tells us he would like to sit down with Coach Kidd and pick his brain. Earlier this month, the interim tag was removed, and Gregorio was announced officially as the team's head coach. Berea lost a lot from last year's team. Dual threat quarterback Jalen Whitaker and his twin brother Jared were big pieces of the offense. Jared played wide receiver, and again, both of those guys have graduated. Timmy Thompson was electrifying.
All right, Coach, we got good news.
He got the football in the backfield or whether it would be on a screen pass. Good luck trying to chase down T-squared Timmy Thompson. He also graduated. But DeGregorio is excited about what he brings back, including running back Jaden Bam Bam Cunningham. Tom Gross, who was my color analyst last year for a lot of the high school football games, when he and I did a Berea game, Tom dubbed Jaden Cunningham as Bam Bam Cunningham, and it fits him to a T. He ran for over 500 yards and punished defenders in the process last year. Defensively, Tanner Hayden will be a big force on the defensive side of the football for the Pirates. Hayden has been receiving several offers from schools at the next level and will look to build off his success from last season. Jason Colburn will now step in as the quarterback and is more of a pocket passer, whereas Whitaker in recent seasons has been a guy that could run or pass. Colburn is only a junior and has been working extremely hard in the offseason, both on the field, in the weight room, and in the film room. Well, I stopped by practice last week and got an update from Coach D and the Pirates as they prepare for Week 1 versus Clinton County.
All right, Coach, we got good news. We can officially talk football and get ready for it. Talk about how you and the team have been preparing and how you're responding to the good news that we officially get to move forward with the season.
All right. Actually, yesterday, a parent called me in the middle of practice and said, "Did you hear?" Of course, no cell phones on the field except for mine. And I answered it, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." So we were ecstatic. I stopped conditioning, brought the whole team together, mask on, 6 feet apart, and they all cheered their lungs out. It was fantastic news. Since June, we've been stuck in phase 3, conditioning, weightlifting, conditioning, trying to mix it up a little bit because I don't want the kids to get burned out doing the same things over and over again. Just trying to mix it up, keep it interesting, keep them engaged. And right now we're waiting on the health department to approve our phase 4 plan, to where I can start wearing helmets, we can start using the sled again, and blocking dummies.
Talk about the numbers that you've seen and how many players you're having coming out this year.
We've been consistently weightlifting, conditioning around 15 to 18. Last week we had consistently 21 show up. This week, actually today, we're at 27. So I think that we'll probably still have a few more come out once things get released more. But 27 to 30 is what I was shooting for before the season started.
You know, with the coronavirus pandemic, do you think that that's kind of weighed on some kids not to come out, or do you think the kids are just ready to get back out there and are not worried specifically about the virus?
Kids, yes. Kids are 100% ready to get out, get engaged with their peers again. The parents, on the other hand, another story. I have 2 players that their parents have decided not to let them play, and I back their decision 100%. I mean, it's all about safety, and if they don't feel that their child is going to be in a safe enough environment, I can't go against what parents say.
What do you think as far as the return from last year? I know you lose the quarterback. I know you lose his brother at wide receiver. You lose the running back in Timmy Thompson. But you bring back the running back Cunningham. You bring back Tanner Hayden defensively. You're going to probably see him on offense some too. What are you excited most about what you're bringing back?
Our offensive line, of course, I've got 4 of the 5 players have extensive game experience. And of course, our tailback, I believe you guys may have dubbed him Bam Bam Cunningham.
Oh yeah.
He's just an absolute monster back there, and will be trouble for defenses this year.
What about the quarterback position? I know you're losing Whitaker. You've got Coburn that's going to be stepping into that role. Talk about him and what you've seen from him during the offseason.
Well, Jason has worked with a quarterback coach out of Mercer County, very knowledgeable guy, and Jason has put in the work on the field, so to say, as well as in the weight room, and he's a smart kid, can read a defense, so I'm excited to see him stand back there and spin the ball a little bit.
What are the expectations for Cunningham out of the backfield?
Expectations, we're going to stick with what we do best. We'll go a little bit of spread, a lot of power. He's a load man. He's 5'10", 5'11", 230 pounds of hard work. I love it.
What about the team? I know you're coming off an exciting season last year. It didn't play as well as you had in the regular season as opposed to you did in district play. How can you build off what those first 6 or 7 games looked like last year?
We're sticking to a lot of the basics. That's what the kids are excited about. That's what they're used to right now. So we're not going to go and change everything about the game. One, they need to be comfortable, needs to be simplified so they understand it, so we can have 100% execution on every play.
Talk about the expectations for this team this year and what you really want to see from them early on in the year.
I want them to have fun. I want them to be safe, and I want to continue the winning tradition that we started back last year. I've got 2 Berea alumni on my staff. They know what it's like to play here. They know what it's like to win here. Their attitudes has been second to none so far. The players embrace them, hang on their every word, and I'm excited to see what we can do this year.
You played for Roy Kidd at EKU. Have you talked to him got any advice from him as you're taking over as the first time as the head coach?
Talking to Coach Kidd?
Yes.
Yes. No, I have not. He's very, very busy from what I hear on the golf course, just doing what he does. But I would like to sit down with him, and it'd be amazing to pick his brain, just get an idea of what he can pass on to me as a first-time head coach.
You know, speaking of EKU, obviously the big news last week, they're dropping out of the OVC. You played there. You were a big part of some good teams there. What do you think about them dropping out of the OVC and playing their own fall schedule?
I think that it's taking the program to the next level. Timing, who knows? This is 2020. Crazier things have happened, right? But they're looking at the big picture, and I trust Coach Wells at the reins. He was my position coach whenever I was there, and he knows what the program's all about.
All right, Tanner, coming back this year, what are you and the team doing to try to build off of what you all did last season?
Putting in more work than what we did last year. Everybody getting out here and grinding. I mean, that's all we really can do. We've been hitting it in the weight room.
How excited were you when you heard the announcement that Governor Beshear was not going to overturn the KHSAA's decision on fall sports?
Oh, I was super excited. There for a little while, I didn't think we was going to get a season or anything. I was stoked.
What are you looking forward to most about getting practice fully started and getting ready for that first game of the year?
I'm looking forward to finally getting out here on the field and working as a team. Everybody getting better, getting used to each other.
You got a first-year head coach and
Yes,
Coach
sir.
DeGregorio. What have you learned from him early on in the off-season with not being able to get out there and do your normal practice routines? What have you learned from him, and what are you excited about having him as the coach?
Oh, I've learned a lot from him. He's been our offensive line coach for the past 2 years. He's great. I'm glad he got the head coaching job. He's doing everything in his power to make sure we win games.
You know how exciting it was last year to pick up those early wins, to see the fans in the crowd again, hear the excitement around this football program. What do you all need to do to make sure that happens again this year?
We just got to come out and fight hard and show people that we ain't the same old Berea that used to be here.
Got some tough games on the schedule. Is
Yes,
there
sir.
one game that you're most looking forward to?
KCD game. I want revenge on them.
There you go. What are your expectations for yourself this year and for the team?
For me, just to get better, learn more, and for the team to win more games than what we did last year.
You've gotten some interest and some
Yeah.
offers from some colleges already. Talk about those schools and what that's like going through that process.
I mean, it's a fun process. I got Carthage University in Wisconsin, Finlandia University in Michigan, and I got a few more emailing me every day. It's a fun process.
Have you got one that you've zeroed in on that you're
No, not
excited
yet.
about, or still kind of weighing the options?
Weighing the options still.
So when you look at what you all did last year, what do you think is going to be the most important factor to do or build on what you all did last year?
The offensive line. Got to build around them. Without them, we ain't going to be able to do nothing.
You've got a really good running back
Yes, sir.
there in the backfield. What do you have to do to get him going this year?
We just got to lay the blocks down, give him open space, and he'll be gone. I don't see anybody that can tackle him.
All right, Tanner, I appreciate it, man. All right, Jaden, first of all, let's talk about the expectations for you and for the team going into this season.
All right, well, the expectations I have to be consistent, like all my other team members. Got to stay, consistent with the blocking, always be going 100% on the field. I got to stay, gaining yards the best I can.
When you play at a smaller school, you're going to play on both sides of the ball quite a bit. As a player, what's your mentality knowing going into each game you're going to be out there for almost every snap out on the field?
The game doesn't change. Always got to stay going 100%. I can't take any plays off. My teammates are counting on me, just like how I'm counting on them. I mean, I just got to stay, like everybody else, I still got to stay consistent.
Well, you all had success last year early on in the season, inter-district play, kind of hit a little bit of a rough patch. What do you need to do to make sure that you can carry the momentum from the early part of last year throughout this season?
Well, I think watching a lot more film will do a lot better. It's hard to explain because, also we got to keep our heads up. Like last year, whenever we got our first loss, we, kind of got into this phase where we were all, down a little bit. We didn't have the same football mentality that we're keeping out through the whole season while we're getting wins. We got to keep our heads up no matter what happens.
How excited were you when you heard yesterday that Governor Beshear was going to let the season begin?
This junior year is a big year for me considering going for college and stuff. So I got that really, made my day. Knowing that I'll be able to play my junior season and get the film off it because that's a really important part.
When You got a new first-year head coach in Tony D. What have you learned from him in the off-season, considering that you can't get out there and do your normal workout routines? What have you learned from him, and how has it been dealing with this process of not only the pandemic but also a first year and a new head coach?
I mean, I've been coached by Coach D before that, and I trust him with whatever he does. He's a great coach. He knows what he's talking about. He's played at professional levels in college, so I trust him and his progress. And he's taught me a lot about getting stronger in the weight room and stuff like that.
Talk about this new offense. So you got a new quarterback. Jaden Whitaker's no longer here after graduation. What have you seen from the new quarterback that gives you confidence that he'll be able to step in and fill that role? He's
a really good passer. He's really accurate. Sometimes he maybe work on some stuff, but besides that, he's really good at passing. He's pretty fast for a QB, especially in our in our A. He's pretty, and as the season progresses, I can see him improving a lot more. He's going to be a good asset to our team.
What are you most excited about going into this season?
I'm most excited about running the ball. That's because I'm trying to do my best at running back this year. I'm just excited to
Is there one game that you're most looking forward to?
Probably Sayre, definitely.
All right, my man. I appreciate it.
Those guys were excited and ready to get the season started. And when we talked last week, when we came on the air an hour or so after Bashir had announced he would not overturn the KHSAA's decision, that was one thing that we talked about. You got kids like Jaden Bam Bam Cunningham, a great kid, a great football player, but a kid that, playing in Berea is not getting the light shined on him necessarily like it should be shined on him. He had great numbers last year, and now he has a chance to really build off the momentum of last season and make a name for himself. And this is a year, your junior season, when those looks can really start to come in. A huge deal for Cunningham and the Pirates to be able to get out there on the field and make things happen. And they will get started in Week 1, September 11th, folks. We are less than 2 weeks away when Clinton County will come to Madison County and they will face the Berea Pirates. That game will air live right here on BON. We will be in Berea that night as the Pirates kick off the season versus Clinton County. Excited to be over there. We're going to be over there Week 1 and looking forward to covering Bam Bam Cunningham, Tanner Hayden, Jaden Smith, these kids that have been put the work in this offseason, that have rode the emotional roller coaster ride of will there be football or will there not be football. They get to have a season, and we're going to be there Week 1 for Berea and Clinton County. Folks, it's time for our first commercial break. When we come back, we will hear from the Madison Southern Eagles. John Clark and Madison Southern last year made another deep run in the playoffs before falling to eventual champion Covington Catholic. We'll hear from Coach Clark, from Jonah Farnstrom, who is returning from injury, and Walter Smith, who may have been the most exciting player in the coverage area last year. We'll hear from all them. Plus, later on in the show tonight, we're going to talk about EKU, who will open up the season this Saturday. We've been dying for some football here locally. Well, the Colonels return to action as they will travel to Marshall to play college football, and that season will begin this Saturday as the Colonels will travel to take on the Thundering Herd. So we'll have all that for you coming up next. We are live on the sports show on the stations of Wallingford Broadcasting and WBON-TV, Channel 9.
I'm Michelle. And I'm Jennifer. And in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Cub Cadet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see you.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find, and that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Need a physical for school or work? Need it right away? No problem. Berea Urgent Care has 2 convenient locations along with late hours to meet your needs. They're affordable too. Physicals at Berea Urgent Care only $20. DOT and CDL physicals are only $65. Berea Urgent Care number 1 by Walmart is open every day 9 to 9. Berea Urgent Care number 2 by Berea Drug open Monday through Friday 10 till 6. No appointment necessary. Berea Urgent Care, here when you need us. Citizens Guaranty Bank makes banking on the go a breeze. Banking on the go has never been easier with options like balance inquiries, make payments from any mobile device, transfer funds between accounts, activate or deactivate a card with just a tap. And with mobile checking deposit, you can deposit checks straight into your eligible checking account using your iPhone, iPad, or Android device. Take advantage of all these fast, convenient, and secure services of Citizens Guaranty Bank. Mobile carrier charges and rules and restrictions may apply. See bank for details. Citizens Guaranty Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
We are live on the sports show, live on the stations of Wallingford Broadcasting and WBON-TV. Michael Watkins here with you, folks, and we're glad to have you tuned in on a Monday night, a rainy Monday night, but it can't rain on us anymore because we get high school football. We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the season when we will have opening coverage that night between Berea and Clinton County. And still trying to work out the logistics of getting over to cover the Madison Southern LCA game the following night. The KHSAA has been very particular in putting in detailed guidelines as to how to keep people safe, not only fans and players, but folks in the press box, and trying to limit all that. So we're trying to get all that worked out to where we can go cover the Eagles that second night of the season. During this pandemic, John Clark might be the coach that I've talked to the most. I've talked to Coach and interviewed him several times, both on and off camera, gotten to really know him, and he's taken this virus very seriously. He wants to see his kids out there, but he also is making sure that they do it the right way. His team is still in the pods. They're making sure that they are doing it where if somebody on his team was to contract the coronavirus, that maybe that person's pod has to shut down, but the rest of the team does not. And Madison Southern and head coach John Clark are no strangers to making deep playoff runs. Last year showed that to be true, as once again the team advanced to the third round of the Class 5A Gridiron Bowl before falling to eventual state champ Covington Catholic. John Clark told me that even though this year is going to be extremely different from years in the past and even in the future, the key is to still play your best football at the end of the year in those district games, and once you get into the playoffs, that's when you want your team to be peaking. After losing quarterback Tobias Storm, who is one of the most exciting players that I've ever had the pleasure to cover on the football field, they also lost kicker Baylor Willis, who broke records at the school, and a majority of their offensive line, several of which have went on to the next level. The Eagles will look a lot different than they did last season. Sophomore Cole Carpenter will now take the reins at QB, and he will have some added pressure being that he is the stepson of the head coach. Last season in limited snaps, he was 5 of 14 through the air for 65 yards, threw a pick, but also threw a touchdown. But both his stepdad and his teammates are confident that Carpenter can get the job done. Jonah Farnstrom will return for his senior season after back-to-back injury-riddled campaigns that kept him out of all but 2 playoff games last year. And Walter Smith, who lit up your screens and your radio stations if you were listening and watching Madison Southern last year, also returns as a weapon for Carpenter to throw it to. And those 2 guys, Farnstrom and Smith on the outside, will set up very dangerous weapons for Cole Carpenter. A.J. Jones and Jayshon Etheridge are going to be big factors in the backfield. They also return, and they'll provide some even more explosiveness to an offense that could honestly be one of the most talented that Clark has had while being the head coach of Madison Southern. I know we've had guys like Damian Harris and guys, like Landon Stacy and Carter Smith, who were big offensive pieces for John Clark and Nathaniel Eads comes to mind. They've had a lot of really good individual players. But this offense with Farnstrom and Smith at the wide receiver positions, Jones and Etheridge at running back, this offense could be one of the deepest that Clark has had, which I think could be one of the most explosive they've had if Carpenter, the young quarterback, can put it all together. With the recap and a preview of the season, here are your Madison Southern Eagles.
All right, Coach, obviously good news that we are allowed to move forward with the season. Just talk about the excitement that you and the team have that you can finally put your sights forward to that week 1.
Well, everybody's excited. Sent a big message out to my team on Sunday night and said, I know we're all really excited, but let's look at the next day instead of looking at week 1 right now. I think in this environment we're in right now, I think you start looking too far ahead. You get really excited, and a lot of disappointment can lie within that. Our schedule's changed 3 times since that announcement. So our motto around here right now is the best ability is flexibility, and being ready to roll with whatever changes, whenever it changes, and be prepared for the unexpected.
So between now and that week 1, there's some different things you're allowed to do pretty much each week. What are you all working toward, and what are you going to be doing each week to better prepare for that game 1?
Great question. So we've taken a slower progression than most teams. A lot of teams are already out of pods and going right away into the full team environment. We are not. We will be in pods through the rest of this week as we work on what makes the most sense on team size and what makes the most sense on integrating players. Because my goal is not to be the best team week 1. My goal is to play and have our kids an opportunity to play as much as possible this season. So if that means merging the team less, that's what we'll do. So we're just trying to find the best system that we can. We'll be in helmets at times. We've been wearing masks all practice, all summer. So anything mask oriented is nothing new to us. And there'll be times where we're wearing masks with helmets on as well, just for that extra precaution.
What do you think the biggest difference between what you've been doing and what you're going to be doing will be?
Good question. Well, putting the helmets on, obviously acclimations start, and we're coming out of pods soon. So we're getting them as far along as we can individually before we go into a team environment so we can shorten the window in which we do that. Right now, the good thing about the pod system is if a kid comes down with COVID, that pod's shut down. Yeah. The minute you merge the team, you could lose your whole team and a whole game over one situation, which it's going to happen. Yeah. We've already seen it happen to multiple teams in the last 48 hours. So limiting that as much as possible is really what my goal is. We will merge at some point. We may merge and come back out, be out for a little while, merge, come back out in pods again, just to try to get to those first couple weeks.
You and I have talked several times during this pandemic and over the last few months, and it seems like you have done a really good job of making sure that your team stays safe. Have you had any concerns from parents or had any players step back and maybe decide to sit out this year?
No, and actually I think we've probably had the opposite. I think, and this is something I commend my parents and players for and our administration, is I've been slower with things and everybody's been patient with me. And like the video I sent out on Sunday to the team, I said, you're going to start to hear from schools around here. You're going to see people on the news. You've seen some local teams who are playing on the news. They're like in full practice mode right now. I said, every team's going to look different on how they move forward right now. Don't look at them and then say, what are we doing here? Like, I need you to just trust our process. And my process is to try to get your sons to a game one, not to be the best practice team, not to win the state championship week one, to actually get to the game and be able to play the game is the goal. Yeah, so that's what we're really focused on.
That's one thing that I've noticed too is, you're not going to come out of the gate hot. Most teams are not going to come out of the gate and be world beaters at game one.
And I think there's, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I feel like a lot of teams will jump everybody in together real fast, and the lucky ones will make it to week one and will look really good. Can they sustain that all year without positives? We'll see. I don't know. I think there's going to be some luck involved because obviously COVID's here. It's in Kentucky. It's here to stay. It's not going to go away. So it really comes down to who's the healthiest as the year goes on as a whole is what we're all looking at. Now, I don't think there's anything I can do special to make our team any better in that regard. We're just trying to minimize risk as much as possible, but still get the kids to Friday night.
What is the strangest or most unique thing that you've had to do during this process?
Okay, so that's a good question. So since Saturday, our schedule, our first game has changed 2 or 3 times again and is now on Saturday. So we weren't going to play, then we were going to play, and then we weren't, and then we were going to play somebody else, and now we're back playing the team we were going to play, and we're playing on Saturday. So that all's happened. What is today, Tuesday? So from Saturday night to Tuesday, that's all gone on. And it literally, like within 24 hours, the amount of things that change is pretty amazing. So we're literally just being totally open to whatever comes. There was a change from the district today in regards to some policies about how we can practice. So I'm just trying to be very loose about it, not get uptight about any of it. Our goal, we've talked about as a staff, we want the kids to have fun this season, play loose, less is more, and be flexible with whatever the scenarios are.
What is the most exciting part about getting the team out here and getting ready for the season?
Most exciting part is it's all not for nothing. So I think the thing that was going to be heartbreaking to watch for kids is we've been doing this for a month and a half, and if we don't make it to a game, to sit there and say, well, you have kids and then go, was it worth it? You and I know it was worth it because you're putting your all in towards a goal. We know as we get older, the end result is not what it's about the journey. Yeah. Well, as young people, we didn't know that. So they still are looking at the end result, which is fine. They'll look back on their lives later and realize, man, we did some crazy stuff in 2020 and we did it. We overcame it. We fought through it. And that's bigger than any game is right now. Like, I personally have really enjoyed this because our goal is to teach them to be better men, to manage their lives better. Everybody always talks about how sports are adversity training. You can't create a better scenario for teaching patience and teaching consistency and attention to detail than what we're doing right now. So to me, this makes it way more even enjoyable because there's so many factors that we can't control, so you have to focus on what you can.
One of your players that we're going to talk to, Jonah Farnstrom,
yeah,
he's had an ACL injury the last 2 years.
For him, collarbone.
Collarbone injury the last 2 years. For him not to have had a season would have been even more heartbreaking because of what he's overcome. Talk about him and how important having a football season is, not only for you all, but for him especially.
Man, I cannot wait to watch Jonah Farnstrom play. So going into last season, he takes a slip screen against Great Crossings in a scrimmage, huge gain, breaks his collarbone. He had broken the other one previously the year before. We had expectations for Jonah to be one of the top receivers in the state last year. Walt stepped up and did a great job. It wasn't until the East Jessamine game in the playoffs that Farnstrom came back, had a huge touchdown on a post route. His playmaking capability, Jonah Farnstrom is the best wide receiver we've had at Madison Southern since I've been here.
Wow.
He's the smoothest route runner. He's the quickest out of breaks. Our quarterback can throw him open. He can adjust to the ball well. He's in for a big season. Just getting him to the season is what's been the goal this whole time. But you'll notice when you see him, he's a lot thicker up through here. He's put on some muscle. He's one of the top 400 runners in the area, in the state. He's a kid that could run track in college probably. He's just got great stamina. So, but work ethic wise, his grades never slipped. His attitude never changed. I don't know a lot of kids, and I've never seen in my career a kid break his collarbone in the first game and then play in the playoffs. Yeah. Pretty amazing what he did. Never faded on us. So cannot wait to watch this young man play. And I know he is excited, and you can feel his energy at practice every day. He practices like a kid whose clock is ticking. And if you've never lost something, you don't know what it's like to get it back.
Before we let you go, what is the most important thing between now and week 1?
Staying in practice, not getting shut down. We have, I counted it up today, I mean, I can't remember what the number is. It's like 14 days to get 11 acclimations in. Okay. So if there's a thunderstorm that kicks us out of practice tonight, we're short an acclimation. So getting something in every day and not getting shut down for a positive test is what it's going to take to get to week 1. That's the most important thing. Conditioning wise, I'm really proud of our team. We're in shape more now than we've probably ever been, because basically we've been a track team for the last month and a half. So I was worried about that. We're going to be in plenty of good shape. It's just getting to that game is the biggest thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jonah, so we know the last 2 years you've not been able to be out there with your team. You had to be really excited to know that you're going to get the football season this year. Talk about that excitement and what it was like when you finally heard, hey, we're going to get to have a season.
I mean, yeah, from being, always on the field and then hurt for 2 years, and then my senior year, hearing all about like COVID and all that, and have the chance of it canceling it and not being able to play again. I mean, it really sucks, but given this opportunity, we're blessed, get to play again, get to play with my team one more year. I'm super excited.
What are you most excited about?
Honestly, just being on the field again. I mean, I missed the feeling. Last year I only played 3 games. Those were the best 3 games of my life. I mean, I just can't wait to be out there with my teammates again.
This program has had so much success over the last few years. What do you all need to do this year to make sure you can have a successful season again like you've had in years past?
I mean, we just got to work hard, work together. I mean, I feel right now we're pretty good. We're all close. We're all friends. I mean, there's no problems. I mean, as long as we keep showing up and working every day, we'll be successful.
What has been the biggest challenge doing all this stuff during the pandemic?
Just not being able to practice as much as we want to, and having to be limited to certain stuff. Like we can't do contact yet, we can't do team yet, we got to stay separated. That's probably about the only problem though.
But a big thing between a quarterback and a wide receiver is their chemistry, and you're not going to have a chance to really work on that between now and that first game with the new quarterback. So what have you all done to kind of speed that process up and get ready for week 1?
I mean, we're throwing every day in practice, and then when we don't have practice, we're coming in for an hour and a half throwing on those days. We're just trying to get as much as possible while staying safe.
Which game are you most looking forward to?
Central. I mean,
that's an easy answer, right?
Yeah, it's every year.
When you look at everything that's gone on in the last 4 or 5 months, to be able to get out here and play a sport that you love, it's going to be fun, but what is going to be the impact of having maybe a limited number of fans in the crowd and not having your normal situation or normal, normal feel of a game now that you would normally have?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be different, but in the end, we're playing for our teammates. We're not playing for the people around us. Like, we're not trying to put on a show for them. We're just playing for our teammates and for each other. So, I mean, it'll be feel different, but other than that, it's the same.
Man, I'm proud of you for working so hard. Good luck this year. Stay healthy, stay safe, and look forward to seeing you out there catching touchdowns.
Thank you.
All right, well, we know that the good news we got yesterday from the governor. Talk about how excited you and the team are to finally put all this behind you and move forward with the season.
Oh, we're all really excited. I think we're ready to start the season. We've been ready. We've been working on plays for a couple weeks now, and I feel like everyone's picking it up real nicely. And yeah, we're just all really excited.
Talk about what it's going to be like to have you on one side of the field and Jonah Farnstrom on the other.
Oh, it's going to be a huge threat. We've been missing Jonah for the past 2 years because he keeps hurting his shoulder, and with this year, with me and him on opposite sides, Can we redo that one?
Yeah, you're good. Can I start over with that again?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Talk about what it's going to be like to have you on one side of the field and Jonah Farnstrom on the other.
Oh, it's going to be a huge show. Like you all saw him at the end of the year last year. He had that huge play against East Jessamine at the end of the game. And then, yeah, it's going to be a big threat, me and him.
Talk about, no Tobias Storm this year. The offense is going to look a little bit different with a young player in there at quarterback. What are you and Jonah and the rest of the offense going to do to kind of take some pressure off of him, especially early on in the season?
Oh, I mean, our linemen, I haven't really been watching them since we've been practicing differently, but I've heard only good things, and everyone's progressing really well. And, Cole, just throw it up. I know me and Jonah, one-on-one, ball is 50-50, it's 100% ours.
I like that confidence. What is going to be the biggest difference between the team you all had last year and this year?
The offense without Tobias, we won't have as much as a read action. Cole's more of a in the pocket type thrower, and then with Tobias we could have the running back going that way, or he could go the complete opposite way depending on the read.
What is the most exciting part about the season being so close? I mean, normally you've got, we know when the season's going to start, you know how many practices you have between now and then, but the unknown has been going on. What's the most exciting part about knowing that now you can get ready for week one?
Really just the excitement to play. Like it's just all hitting us at once, and then we're all super psyched for that first game.
Are you nervous about the virus any? Does that weigh on you, or are you just ready to get out there and play football?
I mean, I gotta be safe, but really just so I can play football. So.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the folks over at Madison Southern, Walter Smith, and one thing that I found really interesting was how serious both Tony DeGregorio at Berea and the players and John Clark and the kids at Madison Southern are taking this virus, and they are all doing so good with it, and they understand that, listen, if we mess up, then that could affect our season, not only for one game, but multiple games. The season could be canceled. They understand all the things that could happen if they don't take this very seriously, and they are doing just that. You could see in all the interviews, they had masks on, or we were socially distanced. We were doing all the right thing to make sure that we stayed safe, and credit to the coaches and the kids. I would not envy any of these guys right now, because especially these coaches, they're having to do more than just coach their football team. It is a different year, and the players are having to do more than practice and everything else. They're having to really take it upon themselves to go out of their way to be extra safe this year, and rightfully so. We understand the threats of that this coronavirus is offering, and we understand the threat of it spreading, so they are doing their part to make sure that everything is done the right way. So the Eagles will open up their season on Saturday of next week, September the 12th. They will travel up to Lexington to take on Lexington Christian, a single-A school, but one of the best single-A schools in the state. That program has been a powerhouse for 10, 15 years, and looking to continue that tradition over there as the Eagles will take on LCA in week one. That is on September the 12th. We're still working out the logistics of us trying to get over there and cover that game the second night of the season. Their first home game will be against Pulaski County, another very dangerous football team. That will be on September the 18th as the Eagles will return home on September the 18th for their first home game to take on Pulaski County. They will have East Jessamine at home on October the 2nd. October 16th, they'll be at home versus West Jessamine. And then the biggest game of the year locally will be November 6th as the Eagles will host their in-county rival, Madison Central. So for Madison Southern and John Clark, they'll go away, home, away, home, away, home, away, home. They're kind of flip-flopping the schedule there, going with the away game, then a home game, and then vice versa throughout the rest of the year. So looking forward to seeing these guys out there, and we're excited. We know all the individual players that are going to be good this year. Looking forward to seeing these guys out there putting in all the work to get to the season and making sure that we have a season. It'll be exciting to see all these guys out there. For Berea, Jaden Cunningham and Jaden Smith and Tanner Hayden and all these guys. And then for Madison Southern, we mentioned all the names, Walter Smith and Jonah Farnstrom. You know, Coach Clark even said it, that Farnstrom could be the best wide receiver he's ever had at Madison Southern. And we know what Walter Smith did last year. That kid was a highlight reel waiting to happen. So you put those two guys together and you get some good running backs in the backfield as well. That Southern offense could put up very exciting and very big numbers this season. It's time for another commercial break. We are live here on the stations of Wallingford Broadcasting, WEKY, WKXO, and WIRV, and also the live stream on WBON. We'll take another commercial break and come back and preview the EKU game as the Colonels will open up their season this Saturday. That's right, folks. College football is underway. We had Austin Peay and Central Arkansas over the weekend. This Saturday, it's the Colonels' turn as they will travel to Marshall to take on the Thundering Herd. All that and more coming your way this weekend, and we'll come right back to preview that game on the Sports Show live on the stations of Wallingford Broadcasting and WBON-TV, Channel 9.
I'm Michelle. And I'm Jennifer. And in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Cupcadet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see you.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Need a physical for school or work? Need it right away? No problem. Berea Urgent Care has 2 convenient locations along with late hours to meet your needs. They're affordable too. Physicals at Berea Urgent Care only $20. DOT and CDL physicals are only $65. Berea Urgent Care number 1 by Walmart is open every day 9 to 9. Berea Urgent Care number 2 by Berea Drug open Monday through Friday 10 till 6. No appointment necessary. Berea Urgent Care, here when you need us. Citizens Guaranty Bank makes banking on the go a breeze. Banking on the go has never been easier with options like balance inquiries, make payments from any mobile device, transfer funds between accounts, activate or deactivate a card with just a tap. And with mobile checking deposit, you can deposit checks straight into your eligible checking account using your iPhone, iPad, or Android device. Take advantage of all these fast, convenient, and secure services of Citizens Guaranty Bank. Mobile carrier charges and rules and restrictions may apply. See bank for details. Citizens Guaranty Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
We are back on the stations of Wallingford Broadcasting, the sports show here with you on this Monday night of producers Jaden Johnson and Gage Hill. I'm Michael Watkins, and folks, we do want to remind you, listen, we're glad to have sports back. We want to see sports continue. wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, whatever it takes for us to get this football season in and the sports to come through the rest of the fall and the winter and into next year. Let's everybody do their part to make sure we can continue seeing those kids out there doing what they love and what we love to see them do. The EKU Colonels announced last week that they are going to drop out of the Ohio Valley Conference for this year and play their own 8-game fall schedule. And we were at a press conference last week where the director of athletics, Matt Rohn, said that he just didn't foresee a season in the spring working for not only them, but maybe for the OVC and some of their OVC counterparts, that they just thought it was better for this institution, Eastern Kentucky University, to play an 8-game fall schedule. That 8-game fall schedule will include 3 home games versus Central Arkansas, Stephen F. Austin, and Western Carolina, but it will kick off this Saturday as the Colonels will travel to Marshall. Now, we will have live coverage of that game for you with the station that covers the Colonels, 100.7 The Coyote. Every EKU football game this year will be on the Coyote radio station. That's 100.7. Our coverage will begin at 11:30 with the EKU Tailgate Show, followed by the EKU pregame show at 12:30 and the kickoff at 7. Now, if you're going to be at home, you can watch the game on ESPN. It's the first time the Colonels have been on ESPN in quite some time, and it looks like they could have a couple of games this year on ESPN because the following week, EKU will travel to play at West Virginia. The third week of the season, September 19th, is an open week right now. September 26th, the Colonels will travel to play at the Citadel, followed by another open week on October the 3rd. On October the 10th, they will take on a top 10 team in Central Arkansas. That game will also be on ESPN+, and you can listen to it on the Coyote. On October 17th, they'll play at Troy, followed by October the 24th with another open week. October the 31st, they'll play at Central Arkansas. November the 7th, they'll play Stephen F. Austin. On November 14th, another open week, and then they'll round out the season on November 21st versus Western Carolina. So, not your normal, typical football schedule. There are a few open weeks in there, and that is to, I guess, give more safety precautions to the team. And we talked to Matt Rohn about that. He said they want to just take all the safety precautions they can, give their kids, multiple weeks, multiple open weeks throughout the season to help them, recover from whatever it is, coronavirus-related stuff, injuries, whatever the case may be, because they know that it's very important to do that this year. So on August 21st, they announced the 8-game schedule, and new head coach Walt Wells is a familiar name. He's been around this program before. He was an assistant coach when Tony D, who is the head coach over at Berea, played for Roy Kidd and was a member of that team. And he's back now as the head coach. He was, again, an assistant under Roy Kidd from 97 to 2002 and was an assistant again just a few years ago back in 2015 for the Colonels. There are 2 EKU players, running back Alonzo Booth and offensive lineman Tucker Schroeder, who have earned spots on the preseason All-OVC team. And Alonzo Booth had a big year last year for the Colonels. 7 players were chosen to the Phil Steele preseason All-OVC team. And Phil Steele was a big college beat writer. A guy has an own magazine, really dives into college athletics and college football. And 7 EKU players were chosen for the Phil Steele all-preseason team. The running back Alonzo Booth, Tucker Schroeder, the offensive lineman, were the first-team selections. Defensive back Josh Hayes and kick returner Quentin Pringle picked up second-team honors, while wide receiver Keon Dixon, offensive lineman Jackson Bardall, and long snapper Thomas Bowling were third-team honors. So EKU giving some preseason expectations from a lot of folks in the media. So EKU and Marshall were once FCS rivals. They'll renew their rivalry in the opening game of the season. Again, that is this Saturday, EKU and Marshall. Marshall leads the all-time series with 11 wins, 8 losses, and there is 1 tie in the rivalry. The first meeting was way back in 1926, and that game occurred up in Huntington. The most recent meeting was in 2018, just 2 years ago in Huntington, when Marshall defeated the Colonels by the score of 32-16. The two perennial national championship contenders met each season from 1985 to 1992, and the Colonels won twice in Richmond and once in Huntington during that span. The final two matchups were in the FCS playoffs, which occurred in 1991 and 1992. EKU has won 4 times previously in Huntington with a record of 4 wins, 7 losses, and 1 tie in their games in Huntington. So again, there are several ways to catch the game this week. You can watch it live on ESPN, or you can listen to it live. We're going to have local coverage. If you like hearing the EKU guys, the voice of the Colonels is Greg Stottlemyre. He'll have the play-by-play coverage for you beginning at 12:30 with the EKU pregame show, and that will air live on 100.7 The Coyote, or you can listen to it live at EKUsports.com. You know, we talked about Walt Wells, and he's had a very successful career as a coach. You know, he's served as an assistant at UK. It's where he was at previously. He's been at several big colleges. So to have him back here, Colonel fans are excited, and we are excited to see where he can take this team and lead them in the right direction. So again, the Colonels EKU football season. We're going to have a press conference tomorrow that I will have coverage for. You can see a recap of that press conference on tomorrow's newscast, which will air at 3 p.m. You can watch that newscast live here on WBON TV or listen to it over on 100.7 The Coyote, which is the station for EKU athletics. And it's going to be an exciting time. Listen, we are just so excited to have high school sports back, college sports back. And if you're a sports fan right now, it's a great time because it's really unlike any other. We've got, you know, baseball season is kind of winding down. We're getting ready to see playoffs in baseball. The NBA is in the bubble, and we know that, you know, they had we saw history last week when the Milwaukee Bucks boycotted a game, and because of the social injustice, and so right now we're in the midst of an awesome playoff run, and we're seeing awesome playoff performances like Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell, 2 guys that played college basketball in the state of Kentucky, Mitchell at Louisville, Murray at Kentucky. We're seeing the emotion of the NBA playoffs at the same time that we're seeing baseball. The NFL is just a few short weeks away from getting started there, and, you know, fantasy football is picking up. Now we've got high school football and college football. So as a sports fan, you've really got an unprecedented time because everything is happening, and it's the important stuff at the exact same time. You know, you're getting the early stages of the NFL and high school football and college football at the same time, and then we're seeing, you know, the NBA playoffs and now Major League Baseball moving toward the playoffs. And from what I've seen on social media, it looks as if baseball is going to have their own kind of bubble system during the playoffs as well. So it's going to be very fun to be a sports fan over the next month or so as we see champions crowned and seasons begin, and it's just an exciting time to be a sports fan. I, for one, love going home at night and having something to turn on the TV other than Netflix and maybe some Amazon Prime. So it's been fun to be a sports fan and see all these different things to watch at night when you go home. Listen, if you're watching the sports show, we appreciate you hanging out with us over the next few weeks. Again, we're going to be preparing for the upcoming high school football season. So we normally do like a schedule announcement. We announce where we're going to be at each week for the WBON TV schedule. Due to the pandemic and not knowing really, you know, who's going to play, you know, what days the games are going to be on, we're going to kind of take it week by week. We've got kind of a rough draft put together. We do know that on the opening night, we're going to have Berea and Clinton County. Hopefully, the following night on September the 12th, we'll have Lexington Christian Academy and Madison Southern. Would like to have those 2 games to begin the season and get those under our belt and kind of move into the season after that. But it's a very exciting time. Go out. Thank those sponsors if you see them. I know it's a scary time to be out and about, but if you're going out to eat or you're going out to the bank or you're going out to the grocery store, stop by or call in. Thank those sponsors for allowing us to continue to cover these great local athletes, these great local coaches. And, you know, we appreciate all of our sponsors, all of the people that watch us, all of the viewers. We would not be here if it weren't for you, so we appreciate you being a part of our local sports coverage. For our producers tonight, Jaden Johnson on the radio side, Gage Hill, our producer on the TV side, Austin Hanks putting the highlight videos and everything together for us. I'm Michael Watkins, folks. On the show next Monday, we'll have season previews for Estill County and Madison Central. We'll hear from coaches and players from both of those two teams on the sports show next Monday. From all of us, stay safe, wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, and let's get ready for some high school football from all of us here at the stations of Wallingford Broadcasting and WBON TV, Channel 9.